So this module is talk about measurement and recognition of deferred tax. Here we are talking about the basis for provision of deferred tax. So what is the, on what basis we are uh, making provision for deferred tax? So what's the base? The base is, we know LK is 12. So LK is 12 adopts the full provision, right? So we are, according to the LK is 12, we are following the full provision method, adopt full provision method of accounting for deferred tax. Full provision method. What do you mean by full provision? So we already account no. So current tax debit and deferred tax debit, deferred tax liability credit, current tax payable credit, like that. So we are recording no deferred tax debit and credit that amount. So that is the method. That is the full provision method. That is the full provision method. Full provision method has advantage that it recognizes that each timing differences. Each timing differences. So if there are any changes between tax base and the carrying amount, the time difference will occurs. Timing differences occurs at the end of reporting period. End of the reporting period. It may be 31st March 2021 or 31st December 2021 or 20 whatsoever. The reporting, end of the reporting period has an effect on future tax payment, right? So the timing differences impacts on future tax payment. So due to the differences, uh, we make provision for deferred tax. So we are using full provision method. If a company claims an accelerated tax allowance means our tax rate is 20%, but government give us 30%. So we can deduct more tax. Best we can deduct more expenses for tax purposes. Then uh, when we compare the taxable profit with accounting profit, taxable profit is less than that. So therefore, we pay less tax because of the accelerated uh, tax depreciation, and that is called tax allowance. Tax depreciation called is tax depreciation is called as uh, tax allowance sometimes. If company claims an accelerated tax allowance on an item of plant, future tax assessment will be bigger than they would have been otherwise. If there is no differences between tax base and carrying amount, or no differences between accounting profit and taxable profit, we don't worry about future tax. The current tax and the accounting tax are same. There is no room for deferred tax. So we are paying less tax in the current year means it's a signal is that in the future we have to pay more tax than we expected, right? So future transactions may well affect those assessments, right? Future transaction may well affect the, so very much affect, future transaction also very much affect those assessments still further. So not only the deferred tax. So in the future, maybe there are changes, say changes in tax rate. This year, 20%. Next year, 25%, or 15%. There will be a chances, right? So the future transactions may well affect those assessments still further, but that is not relevant in assessing position at the end of the reporting period. So we cannot account for all adjustments, right? So we have to recognize in the statement, financial statements, it may be in the form of profit loss account or balance sheet. We should have a correct measurement. We should have a correct measurement to recognize the statement. Therefore, we not be unable to account all the things. See example. Suppose that Jirdu Co. begins trading on 1st January 2017. In its first year, it makes profit of 5 million. Right? Profit now 5 million. The depreciation charge is 1 million, that is accounting depreciation, and the tax allowance on those assets amount to 1.5 million. So this is an example for accelerated tax allowance. Accelerated tax allowance. It may be 10%, not 10%, 20%, no, 20%. Here, more than that. 20% of 1 million, 5 million equal 1 million. So it is more than that. It may be how about the percentage? So it's not matter for that. Right now, so here 1 million is 1.5 million. Now we are charging higher tax allowance. Therefore, due to that, we have to pay less tax in the current year. The tax of the rate of income tax is 30%. We know very clearly the carrying amount is 1 million, so 4 million, and tax base is 3.5 million. 5 minus 1.5 equal 3.5 million. That is tax base. And carrying amount 5 million minus 1 million equal 4 million. Right? There's a difference. So due to that difference, there's a chance for deferred tax liability. This is called taxable temporary differences. Here, the tax liability is 1.3 million. How? So this 5 million we have taken after deducting depreciation. So we have to add back at this 1 million back to this. Then 6 million. 6 million equal what? Profit before depreciation. Accounting depreciation. Then we can deduct this 1.5 million. So 6 million minus 1.5 million equals how much? 4.5 million. 4.5 million. So 4.5 million into 30%, how much? Here, how much? 5 million profit. This is profit after depreciation. We have to add back accounting depreciation. That is how much? 1 million. And we have to deduct tax depreciation. Tax depreciation equal 1.5 million. So the amount is, and how much? 4.5 million. It's more profit after tax. Sorry, profit, taxable profit, no? Taxable profit. Now we take tax is at 30%. It is 1.35 million. 1.35 million. Right? We know that the cost is 5 million, and accounting depreciation, how much? And carrying amount, And here cost again 5 million, and tax depreciation equal 1.5 million. Then how much? 3.5 million, right? So temporary difference equal carrying amount minus tax base equal 500,000. We can find directly 30%, no? 30%, therefore 500 into 30% equal 1.550,000 is different. But according to here, according to the taxable profit, the tax is 135. 135. So when we apply the when we apply accounting depreciation to calculate accounting profit, see the difference. Let's see, 500,000. Accounting profit is 500,000. Accounting profit is 5 million. Accounting profit is 5 million. This is accounting profit, isn't it? Accounting, and therefore here tax equal at 30%, 1.5 million. See the difference. This difference should be equal to this value. Here, value. This is accounting measurement. This is tax rule. Here 100. Here we have same value. So we can find the deferred tax this way. This is direct way. This is direct method. Finding this 150,000. So this method is indirect method. Here how we can account it. So what's the journal entry? Anyone of you? Journal entry for this year in 2017. What's the journal entry? Journal entry? Anyone? Current tax equal current tax, so debit, that's equal to 1.35 million, and the deferred tax equal 150,000, right? And tax payable, current tax payable credit, that's equal this value, and deferred tax liability equal value. See how much total tax we will charge in the income statement. So this is the amount we will charge in this income statement. It should be equal to this value. It should be equal to this value. Yeah, this the tax liability is 1.35 million, but the debit to profit or loss is increased by the deferred tax liability was 0.5 million equal how much? 150,000. I have already explained to you. Right, the difference will be 150,000. This 150,000 will be considered as a deferred tax. The total charge to profit loss is therefore 1.5 million. How? So current tax is 1.35 million plus deferred tax 0.15 million, which is an effective tax rate of 30% on accounting profit. Yeah, that it should be equal to accounting profit into tax rate. Right? Hope all of you understood. Now we'll see what happened in case of changes in tax rate. You know, in Sri Lankan context, when government changes, there will be a there will be a changes in tax rate. In 2020, the first 9 months, uh, one tax rate, the second in the year of assessment 2018-19, 1920. From April 1st of April 2019, one rate, and from 1st of December, no, 1st of January 2020, it's another rate. Right? So frequently change. The tax rate will be frequently changes. So what? How do we accommodate the changes in tax rate in accounting? So where the corporate tax rate of income tax fluctuates from one year to another, a problem arises in respect of amount of deferred tax to be credited or debited to the statement of profit loss in the later year. So I explained you earlier, the deferred tax can be in the initial stage we credit, no, deferred tax liability, credit, deferred tax account, debit. But in the future year, we have to cancel off. Therefore, deferred tax account is credit, deferred tax liability is debit. At the end of the accounting depreciation, it's equal zero. Deferred tax balance becomes zero. Right? So that is we did in that way because we have assumed there is no changes in tax rate in the future. But in practically, it is not like that. It fluctuates year to year. So LKS requires deferred tax assets and liabilities to be measured at tax rates expected to apply the period when the asset is realized or liability settled. So we have to use expected rate at the tax rate expected, right? So this year 20%, the new government is announced that next year tax will be 24%, and we have to make provision for deferred tax at the new rate, the tax rate expected to apply in the period when asset is realized or liability settled, based on tax rate and laws enacted or substantively enacted. There will be a potential chances. There are chances to be, if you find a good indications for substantial changes in tax rate at the end of the reporting period. In other words, LKS 12 requires the liability method to be used. Here we have to use liability. Liability mean here liability mean the deferred tax will be, what is the purpose of making deferred tax provision? What's the purpose? In the future, there will be a increases in the income tax. For that purpose, from this period onwards, we develop some fund to meet that increased tax expenditure. So that is the purpose of keeping deferred tax, right? So, so in future, tax rate has increased. Then you have to make more provisions in the current period to meet the future high expenses. Sometimes this year 20%, next year maybe 10%. Then in the future we have to pay less tax expenses. That time we have to allocate, we have to make provision, we have to make fund to make to meet the future expenses, right? So that's called liability method. Based on our liability, we make provision. Example, Ginger Co. has an asset with a carrying amount of $80,000. Carrying amount is 80,000 and the tax base is 50,000. You know what's the deferred tax? Different temporary difference how much? Temporary difference how much? Any answers? Temporary difference how much?
30,000.
How much?
30,000.
Yes, 30,000. Yes, good. The current tax rate is 30%, 30%, and rate, the tax rate is being reduced to 25 in the next year. So there's expectation that in the future, tax will be reduced to 25 from 30. So Ginger plans to dispose the asset for its carrying amount and will do so after the tax rate falls, right? So the Ginger company plan to sell the asset on its carrying value, right? So how do we make, so if there is no changes in the tax rate, it is simple. So the difference is 30. Temporary difference is 30 and tax rate is 30%. Therefore 90,000, 9,000 we can put easily. But now the tax rate is changes. So therefore we have to apply the new tax rate. The deferred tax on the temporary difference is therefore 30,000 into here by multiply by 25%. This 7,500 will be charged as a deferred tax. Deferred tax account is 7,500. Deferred tax liability account credit 7,500. So we have to use the new rate. Discounting. You might study it in financial management, corporate financial management, or fundamental financial management. You talk about study about time value of money, discounting, compounding, annuity factor. Right? We have discussed a lot. Discounting. So discounting, it simply means converting the future amount into the present value. Convert the future value into present value. Discounting. So discounting is used to allow for the effect of the time value of money. Yes, we have studied under the time value of money. LKS 12 states that deferred tax assets and liabilities should not be discounted. Should not be discounted because of the complexities and difficulties involved. LKS people, IAS people realize that the time value of money concept is very difficult and complexity. So therefore, they forget about it. They leave as it. Right? They are not considering in LKS 12. It's not considering any discounting factor, discounting or compounding, no matter. Right? Be happy. And discounting is applied to other non-current liabilities. Discounting is applied to other non-current assets, non-current liabilities such as provisions and deferred payments. Say provision for gratuity, provision for any court cases, for that. Carrying amount of deferred tax assets. Now we'll talk about carrying amount of deferred tax assets. Deferred tax asset. The carrying amount of deferred tax assets should be reviewed at end of each reporting period, right? It should be reviewed at end of each reporting period and reduced where appropriate. Sometimes insufficient future taxable profit. Recall the thing, the tax asset, deferred tax asset mean what? in the present period, we are paying higher taxes. We are paying higher taxes when compared with the accounting tax. It means we are paying higher tax, mean in the future we have to pay less tax. We have to pay less tax. Therefore, we keep it as an asset. It means we pay the tax in advance, right? It's like advance payment. So in future, that's indicate that in the future there is no chances to make profit to the company. The company does not have any potential to make profit. That time, how can you keep a deferred tax asset? You can't claim. There's no possibility to claim. Right? There's no need to pay tax in future. Then what's the use of that? So for example, you have given a 1 million loan to your friend, and he promised you, and he has promised you that the next year he will settle that money. Then next year mean, yeah, he will settle the money, and in your balance sheet you put as what? It's the asset. Your friend have to give a money, right? Asset. What happened if your friend got passed away, has died? Still, can you recognize as an asset? Please respond. The debtor has death. Still, do you recognize as asset? The students? Still? Can you keep as asset? You can't claim. From whom you can claim? So you can't claim. So there's no meaning of keeping that 1 million as an asset. So likewise, we have to write off. Likewise, we have to time review the deferred tax asset balance. Such a reduction may be reversed in the future years. Now let us discuss about recognition. Recognition. First, before until this slide, we talk about the measurement. Now we talk about the recognition. Recognition of deferred tax. Under IAS 12, a deferred tax liability or asset is recognized for all taxable and all deductible temporary differences, unless they arise from the initial recognition of goodwill. We don't want to account under LKS 12, and the initial recognition of an asset or liability in a transaction which is not a business combination, and we don't need to recognize under LKS 12. And at the time of the transaction affects neither accounting profit or taxable profit. There's no impact on your profit. Then you don't want to adjust here. So other than these A and B, you can recognize all taxable temporary differences and all deductible temporary differences. Taxable profit in the future period. Taxable profit for the deferred tax asset, right? So I told you earlier, in the future, you have to assess the future potential of making profit, taxable profit. For a deferred tax asset to be recognized, sufficient future taxable profit must be available against which the deductible temporary difference can be utilized. As I said to you earlier, to recognize as an asset, as a you debit, the amount you have paid to your friend, he should be alive, and he should have a capacity to repay the money. Then only you can show as an asset. Likewise, you can show deferred tax asset. You have to have a future taxable profit. Otherwise, you can't recognize. Deferred tax assets are only recognized to the extent that it's here probable that taxable profit will be available. Probable that taxable profit will be available against which the deductible temporary differences can be utilized. You know, deductible temporary differences will cause deferred tax assets. It is assumed that enough taxable profit will be available, right? Taxable profit will be, not present, in the future, will be available if there are sufficient taxable temporary differences, which can be offset. In the future, you have to pay more tax. In accordance with tax regulations against available deductible temporary difference. If an entity has history of recent losses, then in the future also you will be end up with loss. Then this is the evidence that future taxable profit may not be available. In this scenario, you can't recognize deferred tax assets. Here we are talking about deferred tax assets, right? Not liability, deferred tax assets. Now we'll see unused tax losses and unused tax credit. You know, unused tax losses mean in the previous periods we made loss. If we make profit, we have to pay tax, definitely. Likewise, if we encountered with loss, then the government will give you some certain flexibility in the future. You can deduct that, you can compensate that losses in the future profit. When you pay tax in the future period, you can deduct sort of amount. An entity may have unused tax losses or credits, that is, which it can be offset against taxable profit. If you are encountered with the losses in the previous period, you can keep that negative tax in the future to deduct the taxable profit in the income tax. Should a deferred tax asset be recognized in relation to such amounts? Such amounts mean regarding unused tax losses, definitely is an asset. And by using this loss, unused tax loss, we can reduce the future tax payment. We can reduce the tax payment. Same thing will apply. Unused tax credits, and this is like assets, can be recognized. Yes, IAS 12, LKS 12 states that deferred tax assets may be recognized in such circumstances. Very simple. In the future, you have to have enough profit, enough taxable profit. Then you can recognize, to the extent that it is probable future taxable profit will be available. Future taxable profit will be available against which the unused tax losses or credit can be utilized. So if there are chances to earn taxable profit, then definitely you can recognize as deferred tax assets. Now let's see the carrying amount of deferred tax assets. Carrying amount of deferred tax assets. Deferred tax assets. Earlier we have discussed in the earlier period carrying amount of assets or liability. Now we are talking about carrying amount of deferred tax assets. Deferred tax assets. The carrying amount of deferred tax asset should be reviewed at end of each reporting period. End of reporting period. And reduced where appropriate. For example, in the future, if you don't have enough future profit, taxable profit, you can't recognize. You have to make adjustments. Such a reduction may be reversed in the future years. Example, IAS cases which allow certain items to be credited or charged directly to the equity. Right? You may recall uh, revaluation of assets. You might study it. Revaluation of property, plant, and equipment. So in this case, there will be a changes in carrying amount of deferred tax assets, and the effect of changes in accounting policy, change in accounting policy, and correction of material error. So due to these two reasons, A and B, there will be a changes in carrying amount of deferred tax assets. So most importantly, we have to see the revaluations of assets. Revaluations will appear under the other comprehensive income. Other comprehensive income include the income that are not frequently occurred, or these are non-operating income, or sometimes called extraordinary items. Right? So revaluation will be appear under the other comprehensive income. Right? It is not operating income, other comprehensive income in the statement of profit loss account, and other comprehensive income. Right? So we have to the deferred tax assets changes should be shown in the other comprehensive income in the income statement. The tax element will be shown as separately as income tax relating to. So you have to write like this, the same, you have to use the same sentence, income tax relating to components of the of other comprehensive income. So we can find, not all the times we find this, in the we can find in the year in which there were revaluations, right? So we can understand this fact in this example. Zebra Co owns a property which has a carrying amount at the beginning 2019 1.5 million. At the beginning its value 1.5 million. At the year end, 1 year later, it has entered into a contract to sell the property for 1.8 million. The book value is 1.5 million, and the revalued at 1.8 million. So we have 300,000. 300,000 equal to what? Pre-valuation, pre-value surplus. So what's the double entry? Property account debit, surplus account credit. The surplus account will directly move to equity account, changes in equity. It's a basic, no, in accounting, company accounts. The tax rate is 30%. How much additional tax? 300,000 into 30% equal 90,000. And how will this be shown in the financial statements? Let us see. Here, statement of profit loss account. First, we can find profit for the year, right? Profit for the year. We can find a heading called other comprehensive income. You know, other comprehensive income. Gains on property revaluation. How much? Gain on property revaluation 1.5 million become 1.8 million. So 300,000. Right, that is 300,000. And income tax relating to components of other comprehensive income, 300 into 30%, 90,000. See here, this 90,000 is not connected with deferred tax assets or liabilities. They are dealing directly with inequity surplus account. So other comprehensive income for the year 210. So this 90,000 not directly deducted from the profit for the year. Rather, this 90,000 is deducted from the extraordinary item, other comprehensive income. So the amount will be posted as follows in journal entries. Here, property, plant, equipment, 300,000. And deferred tax, 90,000 credit. And revaluation surplus, 210. So it is not posted to deferred tax assets. We are not posted. So deferred tax account here, but there is no deferred tax asset account. There's no deferred tax liability, right? Asset account. There's no deferred tax asset account. In this case, deferred tax has been deducted from the revaluation surplus rather than being charged to the profit or loss account. Now we'll see the accounting treatment of deferred tax. Yeah, for the deferred tax, as with the current tax, deferred tax should normally be recognized as income or expense. Deferred tax it may be deferred tax liability or deferred tax assets. However, we have to charge in the income statement. In the income statement, I mean it may be in the form of income or expense, and included in calculating the profit or loss for the year in the statement of profit or loss account. So in the income statement, we find both current tax plus deferred tax. Current and deferred tax will together make up the tax charge. The total tax means current tax plus deferred tax. The exception is where the tax arises from the transaction or event which is recognized in the same or different period directly to inequity. So in the previous example, it deals the surplus account will impact on equity, such as revaluation, where the surplus is credited to revaluation surplus. So if there are in case of absence of tax, so the normal entry will be property, plant, equipment debit, revaluation surplus credit 300. Due to the tax, now the revaluation surplus has been reduced by deferred tax. So it will be impact on equity, not the current profit or asset. Right. The figures shown for the deferred tax in the statement of profit loss will consist of two components. In the income statement, you can find two components. The first, the deferred tax having two components in the income statement. First, deferred tax relating to timing differences. As we discussed earlier, you know what is timing differences. And adjustments relating to in the carrying amount of deferred tax assets and liabilities. So as I told you that the changes in tax rate, changes in policy of the government, so there will be a change in the carrying value of the deferred tax assets or liabilities. Where there is no change in timing differences, right? So timing differences will consider here in A. In B, we are not consider timing differences. We are consider changes other than the timing differences. The changes in tax rates and laws, reassessment, reassessment of recoverability of deferred tax assets, or a change in expected recovery of an assets. Right? So this is what item B, this one, will be recognized in profit loss unless they relate to items previously charged or credited QT. So in case of surplus, revaluation surplus, revaluation, so we cannot consider here. So deferred tax and current tax should be charged credited to directly to equity if the tax relate to items also charged credited or charged directly to the equity in the same or different period. So if there are any revaluations differences, will be charged equity. No, that time only we have to connect the deferred tax or with equity. The deferred tax should be charged or credited to directly to equity if the tax related to the item also charged to directly to the equity. So that's all from today.